Welcome to Community Health Hero Show, where we spotlight local organizations that provide much-needed health and wellness resources and information so that everyone in our community can strive to live healthier, happier, and longer lives. I'm Dr. Penny Walker, Senior Medical Director for United Healthcare Southeast Region. Thank you for joining us. Today on Community Health Heroes, we'll be speaking with April Glenner, President of United Healthcare Community Plan of Louisiana, who will discuss their recent donation of 400 computers to faith and community-based organizations statewide. Harveen Kiera, owner and chef of Hillel's Kitchen, who will talk about her restaurant's participation in Ochsner's Elmwood Fitness Eat Fit NOLA program, and Dr. Corey Hebert, Chief Medical Officer of WDSU-TV and founder of Community Health TV, who will discuss preventing childhood obesity, as well as choosing the right doctor and the importance of annual checkups. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more Community Health Heroes.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
United Healthcare Community Plan of Louisiana recently donated 400 refurbished laptops to faith and community-based organizations throughout Louisiana. Joining us today to talk about how this technology boost will help more Louisianans gain access to health information and the many programs and events available to Medicaid members in our state is April Glenner, President of United Healthcare Community Plan of Louisiana. Thank you so much for joining us today, April.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Can you tell me about the computers United Healthcare recently donated?
Yeah, I'd love to. So recently, United Healthcare Community Plan donated 206 computers to community and faith-based organizations and schools, not-for-profits across the state. Most recently, we presented 206 computers to 7 organizations in Baton Rouge, and we did that at a presentation at the Madison Preparatory Academy in Baton Rouge in front of the whole student body, and we presented those computers to 7 organizations in Baton Rouge that will then use those computers to build computer labs and allow the vulnerable populations to access those computers. They're the laptops that United Healthcare is retiring, but still have a significant amount of useful life on them. So we take those computers, repurpose them out into the community where they can help those vulnerable populations get access.
Well, that's really incredible. How do the students use the computers to interact, maybe to get some health information?
Absolutely. So the school, Madison Preparatory Academy, where we did the presentation, built a computer lab where students can go and use the computers. They can access the internet. They can do research there for their school projects, about their health, and any topic that's appropriate for them to be researching and learning about on the internet. And the great thing is that bridges the gap of technology in some of the more vulnerable populations, and make sure that they have access to the technology and are, up to date and state of the art so that they can compete.
Awesome. And then if we had some faith-based organizations or community-based organizations that wanted to learn about your program or possibly apply for the computers, how do they go about doing that?
Sure. So to apply to get computers, the organizations can contact our Community Outreach and Marketing Director, Brad Grunmeyer.
Okay.
And there's an application process. They can fill it out, and we would be excited to learn about additional opportunities in the community.
And how important it is for seniors to have access to the internet?
Critically important. So a lot of seniors in the communities, especially in the vulnerable populations, they don't have computers in their homes. So these community and faith-based organizations and not-for-profits set up computer labs where the seniors can go and access the computer. And they also have their staff on site that can help them use the computer and so on. And you might be surprised how many seniors are accessing the internet on a regular basis. It's a very large percentage of seniors that are internet savvy and using those resources available to them. So some of the stereotypes that we have are not necessarily true. They're very literate, and so it's great to be able to give them that opportunity and a place to access that's accessible in their own community.
That's great. Can you tell me about what United Healthcare Community and State is doing with the Medicaid population? What kind of programs are you offering?
Absolutely. So we have a community outreach team that holds events and educational sessions and programs on a weekly basis throughout the year across the entire state. So we have our staff lives across the whole state and holds those programs in partnership with community organizations, faith-based organizations, and those programs include educational materials where they can learn about how to get engaged in their own health, how to have healthy behaviors, learn about health risks and what they can do to mitigate those risks. Additionally, we have programs and educational opportunities about their Medicaid benefits. So they can learn, as a participant in Bayou Health, they can learn how to access the services that are available to them. And we also have resources that work with them to prepare them for accessing those resources, so educating them about disease management and living with chronic illnesses and so on. And so when they do go to access those services, they're prepared to make the most of them. And then we also work with several great organizations through partnerships to bring information and engagement to the community. One of those is our Heart Smart Sisters program. So that's a signature program that works with women and educates them about heart disease, and through educational programs and sessions, and helps them learn how to reduce their risk for developing heart disease. That's really neat program that engages women. And there's a misconception that women don't have as high of a risk for heart disease, and really it's just that women's risk for heart disease comes at a later point in their life. So it's really important to or increases, their risk increases in a later point in their life. We are just as at risk as men in the population for heart disease. So it's really important to break those myths and give women the tools they need to manage that risk and engage in healthy behaviors that keeps their heart healthy for their whole life.
That's great. I really appreciate you coming on the show today and providing this very important information.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. And we'll be right back with more Community Health Heroes.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up at bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. This first pitch is fouled to the back.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
New Orleans is known for its delicious food, but dining at your favorite restaurants doesn't have to mean ditching your otherwise healthy diet. Molly Kimball, registered dietitian with Ochsner's Elmwood Fitness Center, has collaborated with nearly 50 local restaurants to create Eat Fit NOLA, a partnership that highlights the better-for-you items right on the menu, making it effortless for anyone to eat nutritiously anywhere in the city. Joining us today to talk about the Jewish-inspired Eat Fit NOLA dishes featured at her restaurant is Harveen Kiera, owner and chef at Hillel's Kitchen. So tell me, how did an English-born, non-Jewish doctor end up in New Orleans cooking traditional Jewish food?
Well, actually, I came to New Orleans for love. My husband is from the Bayou, and he wanted to be closer to his family, so we moved here about 6 years ago. And I got introduced to the Hillel through my good friend Michael Hecht. So Michael Hecht is the CEO of GNO Inc., and he introduced me to a rabbi who really needed some help.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'd been in the restaurant industry for 25 years in San Francisco, and so it was natural to fall into something like this, something that's healthy, easy to eat, and great Monday through Friday food that keeps you light on your feet.
Absolutely. And that's a really interesting name, Hillel. How did you come about that name?
Well, Hillel was the gentleman that created all the Jewish laws. So my initials are actually HK, Harveen Kiera, right? So I thought it was quite funny, we'd name it Hillel's Kitchen.
Oh, cute.
So it'd be a name behind a name.
And you have some just absolutely beautiful foods in front of us here. Can you tell me a little bit about some of them?
Absolutely. This is our kale salad that we make every day. And it's a julienne of kale with a chili lemon vinaigrette and shavings of almonds.
Oh, yummy.
We have our smoked sweet potatoes. And what we do is take the sweet potato, chop it up, we smoke it with a little garlic and some rosemary in a little apple wood. And so it gives it a deep, really rich flavor without adding anything to it. Right?
Absolutely,
So
without adding extra calories.
Right, no fat to it. This is quinoa, so this is a lovely red quinoa, and I just picked some basil from the garden this morning and tossed it in there. And we have some alfalfa sprouts, which came from Dornax this morning, and avocado. Everyone's
and then
favorite.
this really interesting thing here. You said we can eat this?
This is your wafer. Your
My
wafer for the morning.
Okay.
We're from Jews to Catholics. So actually, this is going to get really, really soft.
Okay.
And edible. So we're going to take some hot water and just place it in this bowl. And this is something really anyone can do at home. You can steam some hot water in your coffee maker, on the stovetop like we're doing today. And what you simply do is take this wafer, and it will magically soften in that hot water. I know it looks quite scary, doesn't it?
It does look quite scary and not edible at this point.
Right. And then what happens is it gets soft, and you just don't want to panic because it'll be perfectly fine.
You said a lot of people don't know how to work with this, and they can get kind of scared.
Right, they can get scared because it gets quite soft very, very easily. You could snack on this, or you could have this. You could have 2 of these for dinner. And if you really are trying to lose the excess weight, it's very, very helpful because it is gluten-free, and then it is super flavorful. So we have this wet, looks like a wet towel, right? We're going to take...
it's almost clear.
It's almost clear. And we're going to take a quarter of our avocado, and we're going to just slice it up.
And about how many calories will be in our finished product?
215 calories.
Oh my gosh.
You'll have about 215 calories, and you'll have the same amount of potassium as a banana. So it is like an energy bomb. And we like to call this one the super roll.
Super roll?
The super roll.
And so you're involved with Eat Fit NOLA, correct?
Yes, absolutely. 100% of our menu has been approved for Eat Fit NOLA.
The whole menu.
The whole menu.
And about how many items are on this menu?
Ooh, we have a fairly lengthy, that's our smoothie and juice bar.
Oh
so
my.
we have a pop-up smoothie and juice bar also. We do everything cold pressed, and it's organic, premium ingredients. as well as we serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we have anything from bagels to omelets. We have falafel, shawarma. We stay quite busy, and everything is made from scratch in our kitchen. So our baker is phenomenal. She's always moving around the clock, and we work with a lot of students. A lot of students come and work in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
It's really exciting energy because you get students from Delgado, from Tulane, from Loyola.
So let's go over, we have avocado on the bottom, we had some alfalfa sprouts,
Alfalfa.
then the kale salad, and then those lovely
Sweet.
smoked sweet potatoes.
We're gonna take this, we're gonna wrap this, fold that over, pop it round.
That's huge, that's a huge
that.
amount of food for 215 calories.
Fantastic,
That is absolutely beautiful.
fantastic. So we're gonna roll that just slightly better, so I can cut it.
I can even roll.
Yeah, slightly.
It's not like sushi, which is very
No,
tough to roll.
it's tough to roll. Right? So if you make a mistake, always unwrap it and rewrap it.
It's forgiving.
It's forgiving. It is forgiving. It looks scary, but it's really forgiving. I'm going to take that. I'm going to cut this, probably on the bias.
And where's your restaurant located?
It's at 912 Broadway. So it's on the
912
corner
Broadway.
of Broadway and Buth, or Birth. And it's on Broadway, right at, I would say Fraternity Row. Where everyone's a little scared to go. So it really is, and I'll tell you, the students are charming that live in the neighborhood. They're absolutely lovely. Sriracha. Who doesn't love sriracha? Everyone loves sriracha. And this is actually a new item for our menu. So I'm sure as soon as I get back to the kitchen, Cece or someone is going to ask for one of these spring rolls. We like to serve it with a little sriracha, and we like to finish it with sort of a drizzle of pomegranate sauce.
But if I wanted to know more about your restaurant, do you have like a website or online?
We do. You can reach us at www.hknola.com. You can call us at 504-909-9919, and you can actually even text your order in, because we work with so many
Text
students.
your order in. We're here dealing with college kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think a lot of people think that the kitchen is only for college students. We welcome everyone. We would love to see community in our dining room.
And we would love to visit you.
Yeah, please come and see me.
I really appreciate being on the show today. This is absolutely beautiful. I learned about red quinoa, which I
Yes.
did not know there was red,
Yeah.
and I'm going to try this at home this week.
Fantastic. You could do a little treat for your son when he comes to visit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Eat Fit NOLA is a proud partner of Fit NOLA, which was launched by the City of New Orleans in 2012 and was developed with broad community input. It provides a roadmap for our community to reach our goal of improving the physical and nutritional fitness for those who live, learn, work, and play in New Orleans. Join us next month when we will feature another fantastic local restaurant offering nutritious and delicious Eat Fit NOLA options. Stay tuned for more Community Health Heroes.
Here we go. We're gonna make some juice.
It's gonna be good.
She's excited. A little bit of kale.
Please don't put this online.
I'm putting it all over the line.
It's wet. It needs something. No, it'll go.
Don't break my juicer. Looks good.
You ready to try it?
Come on, baby.
Challenge your kids to be active and eat healthy.
It's okay.
Okay, all right.
They might surprise you.
Hey, she took another sip. You saw it?
Search We Can for more ideas on how you and your kids can get healthy together.
Did you know that choosing a doctor should be one of your top life decisions? Here to tell us what should go into your decision when choosing a physician for yourself or your family and the importance of annual checkups is Dr. Corey Hebert. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Hebert. Can you tell me a little bit about picking an internal medicine or family physician for your children?
I tell you what, it is a hard thing to be able to pick a doctor, but the most important thing that you must realize is that if you go to a doctor and you leave the doctor with questions because you're afraid to ask because the doctor's too busy or the doctor's pushing you along and doesn't have time for you, leave the doctor. People, have this myth about, well, he's a good doctor. He doesn't have a good bedside manner. Don't believe that. That is a myth. You know why? Because part of what the doctor does is to get information from you and to be also very open to give you information so that they can make really good choices for you and your health. So if you're scared of him or her, and then you don't feel like you can ask them questions, they're not going to be able to get the information from you that they need to take care of you. So first of all, they need to be available. That's the first thing. Second of all, you need to make sure they don't have any real big pending litigation cases against them, because if you can go online right now and there are all types of websites like Health Grades and all these things where you can't get around being sued at some point, probably, if you're a doctor. A lot of people haven't been sued. A lot of people have been sued, and it's really a frivolous law, a frivolous case. But what you must always remember is that, where there's smoke, there's a fire. If you see a pattern of a physician having lots of sanctions against the license, then that's something that you really might need to think about. But the most important thing is that you're paying for this health care. So if you go to a store and you buy a shirt, and that shirt, you don't like it, or the shirt has a hole in it, or the shirt has a button off of it, you're not just gonna say, well, I guess I'll just take this because the store wanted me to have it. No, you take that back and you demand what you paid for. That's what you need to think about when looking for a physician. You need to make sure that the person is caring about you and you're caring about them, so that you can have a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So really good communication and comfortability with that doctor.
That's it. That's because everything else, we all have to pass the same tests. We all have to get board certification, all that kind of stuff. It's the interaction with the physician that's going to make your life a lot better.
Great. And then after you choose a physician, then what kind of things should you look for? Like an annual checkup is important?
Yes. Now, we do not go to the doctor as a society. About 70% of the people that have insurance, not people that don't have insurance, but 70% of the people that have insurance never get an annual checkup. Why? Because we're scared. We think that the doctor's going to tell us something that we do not want to hear, which that could happen, but if we catch it early, then we can save your life. Another reason why, people just really don't want to go to the doctor is because they're too busy. But, I have to always put this in people's minds. Would you rather have to take 5 months out of your life to be 2 months in intensive care and then 3 months in chemo? Or would you like to take a half day off of work and go get yourself checked out and get your breast exam done so that you don't actually have advanced stage breast cancer? If you actually have breast cancer, we can catch it very early. So you have to take time. So people, they don't go to the doctor. And a lot of men are scared too, especially older men over the age of 45, over the age of 50, they have to get the prostate exam. We know, the finger, nobody likes it, okay? It is what it is. Don't be scared of the finger, folks. Don't be scared of it. You know why? Because it will save your life. We also, there are blood tests that we can do, so we don't really have to do the finger anymore. But I say, if you're an African-American man out there, the odds of you getting prostate cancer, extremely high.
Exactly.
Blood and finger. Just get over it. You just got to get over it.
September is National Childhood Obesity Month. And that's a rising crisis in the United States.
Yes, it is.
What would you recommend to parents about lunches and after-school snacks?
I have a few things to mention to parents about, it can be about lunches, it can be about snacks, but what we have to do is stop being our children's friends, and we have to be the parents. You can never allow the inmate to run the jail, all right? And what's happening is that's what's going on. I have a patients that come in and say, well, I want Johnny to lose weight, but he just loves M&Ms. What do I do about that? And I'm like, well, you can't buy M&Ms. I say, and she says, well, but I like M&Ms too. I can't give up my M&Ms. And I'm like, ma'am, that's the problem. You're the problem. You have to give up your M&Ms. And Johnny will not be able to get his M&Ms. Johnny's 6. He doesn't have a car to buy his M&Ms. He doesn't. So you have to make sure that Johnny doesn't eat them at all costs. And Johnny has to understand that he doesn't want to be overweight. You have to explain it to him, but in the final analysis, he has no choice.
Right.
He has to do what the parents would say. So all of the white sugars, so we have to get rid of all of the bad snacks, okay? McDonald's should be a treat. It shouldn't be a daily occurrence. So snacks should consist of carrots, celery, broccoli, those types of things. Now, I know people out there saying, nobody likes celery and broccoli for snack. But if you don't know any different from birth, then that's what you think. My son didn't have a soda till he was like 12 years old because he was like, soda's the devil's urine. That's what my dad says. I don't drink that. That's what he would say. Now, every now and then he'll have a Sprite because he understands that 6 Sprites in a day is bad. And if you're out there trying to lose weight and you're a kid, and your parents are trying to get you to lose weight, think about this. If you drink a soda, okay, let's say you drink 3 sodas every day. If you're trying to lose weight, that's not going to work because if you stop drinking those sodas in a month, if If you stop drinking those 3 sodas a day, you will lose 8 pounds just by eliminating the soda and the high sugar juice. And that's another thing we gotta remember. So if you wanted to really just make the biggest impact, eliminate the high sugar juices, the sodas, and then the bad snacks. And then you probably have a kid that's a little more svelte than the other ones.
And then you have a pretty amazing TV show, Community Health TV. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. That's our parent, okay? So, Community Health TV came out of my crazy mind, okay? Because I realized that people really like to hear medical information given in a way that they understand it. And I know that sounds like a crazy concept, right? But it's really true, because when we talk about otitis media, parents don't know what otitis media is, but they know what an ear infection is, and we have to say ear infection. We can't say otitis media anymore. So we have Community Health TV as our parent. We launched blackhealthtv.com, which is the first website that we rolled out. So if you go to blackhealthtv.com and you type in diabetes, you're not going to get a segment that talks about diabetes mellitus. You're going to get me saying, so you got sugar? Let me tell you what sugar is, okay? And so that's what people talk about when they talk about sugar in the African American community. They talk about diabetes, and it's called that. We just rolled out LatinoHealthTV.com, and so kind of the same things for the Latino community, because everybody's health issues are about the same. The delivery of the information is what makes the difference. I mean, and you have to have an inspiring character to make a movement like that. I mean, in the 80s, we have a little fella here named Richard Simmons. Nobody wanted to work out in the 80s. Then Richard Simmons came out, and he was like, come on, let's go. And he inspired the movement. He was no buff guy, but he inspired the movement, because you have to have someone to inspire people to make a movement. And that's what we're trying to do with Community Health TV, inspire people to change, because everybody knows drinking 8 sodas a day is bad. It's just who's going to inspire you enough to not drink them. That would be me.
Well, Dr. Agbe, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to be here and provide this valuable information.
Thank you. I always love coming, so I'll be happy to come back.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day. Thank
You
you. And we'll be right back with more Community Health Heroes.
Storms come up fast. Storm Protect Your Home now. We want you to know installing shutters and storm doors can protect your home from high winds or rain. To learn more about how you can protect your family and property from storms, visit getagainplan.org and click on Mitigation Plan. Louisiana, we can do this. This mitigation message brought to you by the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you would like to suggest a health topic, send us information on your health organization's events, or recommend your favorite Eat Fit NOLA restaurant, please visit our Facebook page or email us at communityhealthheroes@gmail.com, or visit our new website at www.communityhealthheroes.org. We hope that the information we provided today will help you and your family live healthier and happier lives. I'm Dr. Penny Walker, and I'll see you next time on Community Health Heroes.